Hello guys, we're gonna start in here in just a minute. Just gonna share the link here. Alright. Okay, so in case you guys aren't like a part of the Discord here, I made a post earlier today, and like I said in the last stream for Super Mega Baseball. So what happened was I was gonna do the League Open, I was gonna set stuff up today. And I realized that they only have the bracket options of 1, 2, 4, which is stupid because I should have known that because I've been playing this game for years, but I completely forgot that there's not a 3 bracket option. So it kind of threw my plans off for like YWA stuff in general, so I decided we're going to rearrange the pacing of things. So this next cycle of matches before the Day of Doom pay-per-view, they're going to kind of be an audition for the non-run wrestlers of the YWA in terms of like real people thing. And this is really just going to be an audition for their jobs in essence. And by the end of after each show, we're going to go through the performances and measure how well we liked each guy, how they perform. And then we're going to start cutting a lot. Like a lot. So it's definitely going to be like kind of because the original plan was for the League Open to be like that process of weeding because without revealing too many of the dirt sheets of the YWA, I did plan on going back to the one show format because the way I want to try to shift YWA into it, there's not enough like people in it to really do the 3-show format. And I love the 3-show format. It's been great, but it needs more people to work. And I think until we get to that point, I think we need to scale it back down a bit, which sucks because I feel like we just did all that. But you know what? Sometimes you gotta experiment a little bit to kind of truly know. But that opening match here is the Phantoms versus Sanchez and Jackson. Now, Hey Debo. Now these matches are going to be unsanctioned, which means that they're not going to count or be recorded or anything like that. There's only going to be one title match tonight. The Triple Crown title with Madden is going to be challenged by a person that will be revealed later on. See, but yeah. But yeah, like everything, the whole thing itself is a little frozen to a degree, so... Alright. So let's see how it goes here. Yeah, because I think the League Open, I did the League Open a lot earlier last year. But it wasn't as much of a process to set up last year, because the original idea was that everyone would be in it. But we had double to triple the number of people this year than we did last year. So it kind of, we had to limit things a little bit. But this way, but after we do all this, we'll re-elaborate, because if after all this we only cut like a few wrestlers, then so be it. I'm fine with that, but unless people say otherwise, like pretty much everyone that's not in a stable run by a real person is going to be gone. So it's definitely, because like I said, the original plan was for it to be a more drawn out thing, because to give people a real chance to like get an idea, but because of the shift and everything, I decided to kind of keep the ball rolling as opposed to stretching everything out even further and trying to redo everything. Well, it's funny, like, I always feel like we always go back to that, because the YWA has been very experimental over years, because for a while we only did one show. We started with 2 shows, then we went down to 1 for a long time, and then we had a developmental show like NXT for the extra guys. That didn't last. That lasted for a little bit, but not too long. I like the. But the thing with the YWA is, and this is something I'm trying to like get it to evolve to in terms of even as the TWN, is that I want it to be very like people driven, like TWN is. But the difference between the two is TWN's promotional based and YWA is like wrestler career based. That's the big difference there. So there's only so many things you can do with like 70% of the rosters like CPU guys. Like you have to, because you have to kind of, and that's kind of the thing too, is that because originally to kind of keep the guys somewhat involved, there was other promotions with those guys to kind of keep them in the loop slightly, even though they weren't really focused on barely anything. Although there are a couple Patreon exclusive stuff they have to put on YouTube soon because they're kind of dated. But then we tried experimenting with 2 shows again, because we brought in Slam to be with Asylum, and the idea was to do 2 shows, but we had some shifting in who was involved in a YWA, and I decided that I'm going to do 3 shows, and we're going to do a whole roster divide, and everyone that was ever in YWA is going to be, like, eligible, and it was going to be one big thing, and the idea was, even then, was to because the idea was always to, like, give all those guys one last chance to show off, and see, like, who's worthy of keeping and who isn't, because we can't really do this YWA stuff without CPU guys, we really can't, and that's fine. But the difference is we want guys that people want to see do their thing and want to do fun stuff with, and not anyone that's just occupying like space. So that was always the long-term plan. I just ended up kind of speeding it up because, like I said, the this year's League Open was meant to kind of be the explanation point in that process, but because of the way things got, because I fudged stuff up, we're gonna have to like rearrange the pace of it, and that's fine. I mean, it's just but like I said in the Discord, like, because each show has like 3 tiers of belts, like a mid card, a tag, and an upper card. So that's 9 belts, and then the main belt's a Triple Crown title. That's a 10th belt. So we're obviously, with cutting the show, some of the shows. Well, that's the thing with yours. It didn't really get in the way, because the thing with TWN is that the pace of it is always going to vary, because for a few reasons. One, what we do is just for fun. There's not really a scheduled deadline or anything. I mean, we just like to. It's just the pace of it. Not everyone. It's weird pace because when people post their booking, you know, because it's funny because it's a tongue twister. A few times over. Well, because the pacing's weird because the only real way it works is that the turn is based on who books first. So if Star Fox books his week first, he'll go first. Ooh, still his finishing maneuver. And then GSW, but it could vary week to week. So next week if LGC posts his booking first, then he'll go first. And it's based on that, really, give or take. And that pacing's tricky because to be honest, in order to have proper pacing for all that, is to have everyone post their booking first, then do the week. But people get busy. No, I couldn't really afford to make it a set schedule because that's the thing, and I did polls on this too, but the fact of the matter is that people get busy, and a lot of people want to put legitimate thought into how they want to do their storylines and match and stuff, and that's great. I love that shit. That shit makes everything, like, elevates it a lot. And some people, they just want to book matches they want to see and just see how it goes, and that's great too. But at the end of the day, it's all about, like, the pace of things. And I don't rush anybody, of course, because this isn't something to rush. I mean, of course, granted, I will admit, if we're getting close to the end of the season and we got one guy left, like, every once in a couple, 3 days, I'll check on and see if their booking's done. Just because, and here's the other thing, too, people forget. Because life gets busy. So sometimes a little poke kind of stirs the memory, because I forget shit all the time. Like, there's times where I forget what I'm doing that day until the last second, like laundry, for example. Like, I'm just chilling and I'm thinking, am I supposed to do something today? And then after a while I look at my basket, I'm like, oh fuck, I was supposed to do fucking laundry today, god damn it. So, and also sometimes you may have it down and you go to text it and you think you sent it but you didn't, and that's another thing there too, because sometimes that happens to a lot of guys too, is sometimes Discord, you think you sent it but you didn't. So those kind of things is more about just kind of clearing those obstacles more than anything. But even then, I don't force the booking, because like I said, the general rule of advice really more than anything is post the next season's booking, week's booking after you do your event, just because... Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing too, like, oh look at that, Phantoms get the win. Phantoms have just been so dominant. And they're one of those created teams that created wrestlers that might stick around because they keep solidifying themselves as top-notch competitors, and it's kind of hard not to notice that. But like I said, it just depends on how vocal people get when we go through the cuts, because at the end of the day, if the idea is if nobody's invested in them, then they're not going to stick around. Because I'd rather focus, especially if we're going to have room for more, because at the end of it all, what's going to be left is guys in their stables of wrestlers that they want to see compete. And then maybe a few free agent guys that kind of survived all this that people want to see. That's kind of the end result of it. And that was going to end result of the whole three show process. It's just like I said, things got fudged up. Next match, Kane versus Troy. Well, that's the thing too, because sometimes, and that's why I don't do the recruiting stuff, because a lot of guys, when they're doing shit like this, they try to recruit everybody to do their shit with. I don't like to do that because for me, for one, I want it to be something that people want to join on their own, because the people that have been most like invested in TW and YWA stuff are people that vibe and feel it. because there's really three classes. There's the people that are super in it, guys like DPS, LJC, Star Fox, and so on. Then there's the guys that kind of float, like they kind of chime in and they kind of like having their guys in, but they're not like super OCD with it. That's kind of guys like you, Debo, and hi Heinz, hi Heinz, how you doing? And Kareem, who Team Echo stuff and that kind of thing. So there is. And then the third class is guys that might have thrown in a guy and then just kind of go. Well, all right. There's four classes. The third class is guys that like to watch. This is the common one. Like to watch the stuff, but they're not like they just do it for fun. And that's the idea of everything is entertainment and fun. It's not meant to be like something obsessive compulsive. But the people that do join TWN, it is something you have to have a drive for. It's something that you kind of, I wouldn't say eat and breathe, but drink, if that makes any sense. Yeah, Kane and Troy, I lost my train of thought for a second. Really? I thought I put him in there, jeez. I really gotta delete a lot of my shit in Fire Pro. I feel like it's kind of affecting the saving ability of it a little slightly. Oh shit. But yeah, Heinz, I just been updating YWA news in general. I packed full. I mean, it really shouldn't be, but I don't know. I mean, and it's weird. It's inconsistent because it'll save a lot of time. But here's the other thing: my memory can be fucky. So sometimes I think I do it because I document a lot of statistics on Discord as well as in the game. So sometimes I think I did it in the game, but I actually did it on Discord and vice versa. So sometimes my brain kind of mixes shit up. But yeah, overall at the end of the day, and that's the other thing too that I put in Discord as well, is that YW and TW are going to they're going to start being fused together, and YWA is going to become kind of like a quote-unquote minor league to TWN, because a lot of the guys that are in TWN have YWA counterparts, so when they are, it's a huge paragraph, so to kind of keep it simple, a lot of things are being mixed in together outside of real wrestlers being in YWA. That's still going to be a hard line. But there are some YWA creative wrestlers that if the people running promotions and their YWA counterparts would wish, they could promote them up, kind of like an NXT kind of thing. But I don't know how many guys are going to do that, though, to be honest. That guy loves NHL. Well, yeah, because Troy in real life, yeah, he loves NHL 94. But a lot of the YWA wrestlers currently in general, yeah, I haven't played a ton of 94, to be honest. Like, those older games, I really want to play more of them, but I don't know, lately, the last few years, I found it a lot harder to play games on my own. Like, I find it a lot more fun to play the stuff with other people. Oh, hi, Machete845. Thanks for joining. YW stuff is kind of going through a transitional period right now. But overall, to answer your question, it's a mix of guys. Like, there's some guys that are based on like guys I know from the Retro Sports Gamer channel and on Discord as well. There are some guys that are legit fictional wrestlers. So it's kind of a mix. Yeah, and that's kind of why I like doing stuff like this in games like Fire Pro, because then we can all like do this kind of stuff together. Shooting star. Do the stuff together without having to go through the shenanigans of like having to make sure, like, it's limitless how many people can get involved in it at the end of the day. Oh, jackknife.
1, 2.
But yeah, Machete, but yeah, this is an E-Fed of like, on a singular wrestler perspective. I run another E-Fed called TWN that's at a promotional level, and I pretty much kind of run it with a lot of guys partaking in both of them. So there's a lot of details in it that I don't want to word vomit on stream, because I don't remember half of them myself. Ooh, nice maneuver. But I have written guidebooks on the two. Like, YWA needs a lot more details in it, but TWN has decent amount. But both are going to be getting updated soon, because we got a lot of format changes coming for both.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it looks like Troy wins it with a DDT. Wow. Not the best showing for Kane. In hindsight, probably should have paired him with another cruiserweight wrestler, but I'll leave that up to, like, the people going for, like... Yeah, because Machete, right now, we're kind of going through a process of, like... We just started a process of cutting excess CPU guys, like, guys that aren't representing or part of, like, stables representing, like, people, the quote-unquote real people. Because some of these guys, some of them, because even if one person says, "Oh, I like that guy, we should keep him because he's, you know, this, and this," and I'll do that. But if no one says anything, they're gone, more or less. Workhorse and Kong right here. But yeah, stuff like the YWA stuff is free to join. TWN stuff, you have to join YWA first because it's easier to set up and it's something that's very relaxed on like involvement. You can be as involved or little involved as you want. TWN, there is a level involved you kind of have to be in. The YWA is kind of like a sampling, a little sample size, a taste of how things kind of go. And that's kind of the good point where people can decide whether it's for them or if it's for not. Because once we get TWN stuff going, it's not a huge process, but it's a process nonetheless. And there's been a couple guys that wanted to do that, and then in the middle of the process or during, it just wasn't for them. Like the first season of TWN, there was a guy that was really doing really well in it, but you know, life happened and he couldn't do it anymore. And you know, it's just one of those things. It's just kind of developed safety net. The only exception to that whole rule is if someone in TWN like vouches for you and says this guy is solid, he can be kind of part of the pace. And Hank the Tank is an example of that, because DPS vouched for him. And I know as I'm talking about it, I'm making it sound more and more demanding than it actually is, because it's not really that demanding. The most demanding part of the whole thing is just the setup process, which even then it's not that bad. It's more about just booking consistently and communicating with other promotions and consistently, because we do little things, events that require stuff like reps, and you know, every promotion competes with their shows every week based on match evaluation. So it is a process of where you have to be consistent on minimal communication. And if that's not something that you can do like in that kind of way, then then yeah, it's definitely something that you would want to know about before you jump in, because it is something that you don't want to be blindsided. Well, but that's the thing though. I mean, that's why we have the promotion freeze option, because life happens, and sometimes you jump in a season and you're like, you know what, I thought I could roll with this, but I got too much stuff on my plate and I can't quite keep up with that kind of thing at the moment, and that's fine. I get it. I mean, I don't mind like people having to pause or leave or whatever. It's just something that has to be talked about, because the last thing anyone would want is someone ghosting the whole thing, because that can really mess things up. No worries, Debo. I mean, to be honest, you probably froze at a good time anyway, because you probably are gonna have to look through your promotion a little bit, because I think a lot of the guys are in consensus that boxing, even though boxing is a doable thing in the game, it's not something they feel like gels well with the other wrestling guys. With obvious exceptions, of course, like guys like Mike Tyson or something like that. I don't know. I mean, it is something. Either way, I would maybe put some pre-planning in to maybe like mix in some MMA guys with your boxers or whatever. Yeah, and to be honest, I mean, boxing to put in this game, and I think another thing too, and this is kind of on me, I feel like I gave too many boxers like creative moves, and some of the creative moves, not all of them, they're pretty good at it, but there's a few that can be OP, and I think that kind of can mess with things a little bit. And to be honest too, like, I in hindsight, I probably should have had your matches take place in the SWA match system, because that's what Hank the Tank uses, and it's balanced out, and it's a lot more friendlier to some boxing rule sets and making your boxers do wrestling rules. So that's another thing there too. So you kind of got robbed a little bit, unfortunately, on my end there. That's something I should have been a little bit more better at, but it is what it is. But yeah, and that's the thing too, like, and if you need to do the thing where you need to do, like, and I do have a system in place for booking where if you have enough rivalries going on, you could do like an auto booking feature where yeah, exactly. Like, I love that this game has boxing and MMA options. Like, it really gives you a lot to work with, but even a lot of diehard Fire Pro guys, they will say themselves that the boxing element in the game isn't the absolute best in the world. Like, if you have pure boxers, it works, but it's not the most, like, it's not the most fluid thing. Like, the MMA part, though, works like a charm, though. So that is something that I always wanted to explore in this game as well. Tombstone.
1, 2.
But I haven't had a chance, really, yet. Chokeslam. But yeah, I mean, the boxing guy, that's gonna, but yeah, overall with boxers, it might be a case-by-case basis. Like, either way, like, if you do decide you're able to come back and do all that stuff, you're definitely gonna want to look through your stuff and see if you can do and look for touch-ups and stuff, which you got plenty of time to do, and that's the thing too, and that's the other thing too, is with TWN stuff, I wouldn't mind like having another guy or two doing promotions would be awesome, because there's so many wrestlers that haven't even been brought in yet that are super notable that we all wish we want to see. There's just not enough room at the moment.
10 minutes gone.
A lot of interference in this match. Oh yeah, like, it's so weird. Outside of his rivalry with with actually Debo, your guy and Hines' guy have been in a rivalry, and they've put on some pretty much some 5-star classics. Even though your guy has won all 3 matches, Brutus has been very competitive in them, though. It's kind of like the RVD Jerry Lynn rivalry, where RVD technically won a majority of the matches, but all the matches were 5 stars. Yeah, I think the idea was like, for Gamma, was kind of like grungy dubstep, radioactive kind of style thing. Yeah, I think my only real regret with all the changes to all the YWA stuff is all the show change formats, because all the shows I made I loved, but I feel like when we start over fresh, like doing it with a new show makes a huge difference. And plus, in all honesty, I don't want to pick and choose shows. I feel like that kind of makes it too tough of an argument, and I feel like it's just easier to start fresh. Oh wow, Ontario! Ooh, that's gonna be a big move, I bet. Yeah, I've only played one in my life so far. I reviewed it on the channel a while back on the PSP version of it. Oh, the total choke. This has been a really good match, actually. It's a really good showcase for both guys here. Oh, spine bomb.
2, 3.
Big win for Kong there. Falls now, and it's horrible. Really, I'm not familiar with what areas in Canada are better than others. So it's always I always like it's funny, like we have so many Canadian viewers for the channel. That's one of my favorite things about doing the streams is like some of the people I've had some people from Brazil, Norway chime in on the channel. I feel like, unfortunately, the time difference I think plays a factor in being able to catch them, see them live and not. Really? Wow, that is crazy, man. I understand why you want to move out. I would want to move too if I got robbed. All right, SMH versus Odin is next here. Splitting. Oh yeah, the freaking smoke. I forgot about that. The Canadian fires dripped toward Michigan, and it's been storming from it for the last some odd days or so. Yeah, thank God, because tomorrow's supposed to be a pitch perfect day. Tuto did it on purpose. Oh my God, I've been hearing so much like Trudeau criticism lately. Crazy. Hi, Gray Man. How you doing? We're about halfway through the show here. The last match was a good one. Like I said earlier in the Discord, this is kind of like, it's kind of awesome that you're here actually, Gray Man. Actually perfect, because that's good. I don't know what one you. Because the Triple Crown title is going to be being up for grabs by Madden and a surprise guy. Hi, Eli. So, Rayman, it's no secret you do have the Doomsday device. So, the main event tonight is really based on like how you want to approach things, because you really have until the pay-per-view. I only plan on doing one like this and the other 2 shows before the pay-per-view. So you gotta have a window here to capitalize on that. Yeah. controlled bird. Ugh. Yeah, that's perfect actually. There's a few ways you can do it. You could either like just fight Madden solo and just replace whoever was gonna go against them. You could do it as a triple threat or dance, or to make it interesting, we could set it up in the tournament format where Madden will fight that guy, and whoever wins will immediately have to fight you, but their stamina carries over. So it's kind of more like an accurate kind of Money in the Bank like situation. So I'll leave that up to you on how you want to do that, because all three are different in a lot of ways. By then too. Damn. Yeah. I get you want space. In Canada, there's a lot of space in Canada that's not being used, but you can't sacrifice the woods. Like, you gotta if you're gonna do shit, you gotta find an economical way. Adam's a legend. Dude, like, I am shocked. Like, it kinda bums me out too of the format shift that I really have to do, because the top belts have been held on for so well and so long by very few individuals, like classic wrestling style. It's actually very impressive. Odin is the one in black. But, and that, like I said, I don't plan on doing, like limiting the belts right away. I'm gonna leave the belts as is for a bit, even if we go down to one show, because I kind of want to give them time to breathe. But there will be unification matches eventually. Yeah, exactly. Like, you gotta rebuild. Yeah, you gotta keep up with stuff. But even if you want to, like, make room for more people and stuff, there's a way of doing, even then, there's a way of doing it that doesn't, like, wreck the environment. You just gotta think about it and be cautious, but unfortunately that takes time sometimes, and, you know, the government doesn't like taking its time on anything. When it's convenient for them, they will. But when they're trying to make a buck, they're gonna move it along.
5 minutes gone.
I mean, the bank style. I mean, but here's the thing though, Madden's been so fucking dominant. And here's the other thing too, like, he's technically a CPU guy, and I definitely want to be able to, like, there's some guys when I cut them, like, I'm not gonna say the guys that have belts are gonna be safe, because they're really not. I can still, like, vacate shit if I want to, but I would prefer for the Triple Crown title to be lost by Madden. That's the preference. But I'm not going to force it, though, because I want it to be legit. Interesting, Eli. What kind of Transformer is it? Oh, Odin gets a win. The thing with Odin is a lot of his moves are pinfall moves, so if you're not careful, you can just kind of fall asleep a little bit and just keep getting pinned non-stop. Alright, next we're going to do a dance. Super Clint, as infamous Smoke and Muto. Like I said, nothing in these next three, this and the next two shows, YWA shows, none of the stuff is going to be recorded. This is all just kind of a show-off process for the CPU guys, like I said. So, the only exception to this, of course, is the Triple Crown title thing that I'm doing tonight. That's the only exception here. Interesting. Oh yes, you know, I think I know of that one. We're gonna do a dance style here. But yeah, when we do reset stuff with like the new show and everything, I'm gonna definitely kind of keep it quick because I feel like I've done so many new show polls on Discord that it's kind of becoming a little. I'm afraid if I do it too often, it's gonna become a running joke. So however we settle it for this next thing, that's gonna be the format for a while, no matter how much I want to do experimental shit. Because like I said, like I want an early stream, like the main goal of the YWA at this point is to be really people driven. So if that requires our roster being at 24 guys for a year, that's what's gonna be. And I'm okay with that. Because like I said, like TWN, I'm not gonna lie, TWN is gonna be kind of become more of the main focus of the Fire Pro show because it is so big and so many people are invested in it and it does so much. Like the YWA stuff, unless we get like 20 dedicated people joining all at once, it's not gonna reach that level, and that's okay because the main goal of it at this point is mostly just to kind of mimic that kind of singular career wrestler mode kind of thing, and also provide the ability for people in TWN to do extra stuff, like earn credits, like betting, develop wrestlers that they could bring up, but they don't have to. Like I said, a lot of that stuff is optional. Oh, '07, yeah. Yeah, I remember that. It was like 12 then. I definitely would have been a part of that. But it's up to you, Greyman, how you want to do it for the Doomsday device activation. Alright, awesome. We'll do it like that. Alright. Okay, that'll be the main event then. And that'll be after this here. Interesting. Definitely post those on my Discord in general if you get a chance, because I am legit curious, because I grew up with a lot of Transformers.
Fight! Yeah! Yeah! Yeah!
But yeah, and another big reason for the cut of guys too is like I said, I forgot when I said it, but I want there to be room, because I also was starting to notice, like with the 3 shows, that there was a lot of like guys in stables and a lot of guys that weren't getting as many matches as the CPU guys. And for me, it's like I want, like I said, like I don't want dead space. Like I want the guy, because I know the YWA is niche, and I know that a lot of guys in there's only going to be so many, it's always going to be a niche thing, so I don't really want it to be filled with like dead space. So I'm always going to be very like critical of having just guys lying around that aren't going to be the thing. Because really at the end of the day, like, I think the minimal amount that can be, and I'll go over it after the match here once we go through the roster, because that'll be a good detriment on how we're going to do things. I get you there. Eli, man, rareness for I feel like rare Transformers. I am curious on, like, if the price for, like, Transformers has risen or fallen over the years.
5 minutes gone.
Ooga!
$50. I mean, yeah, that is definitely trigger 4 there. Yeah, $50 it's still rich for me. I mean, that's like AEW Fight Forever money there.
One. Ah. Ah. Yeah. Ah.
Big suplex.
Give up. Give up. Break. Give up. Give up. Give up.
Yeah, I get you there. Like, some stuff's just worth the cost.
Two.
That does remind me, have you guys watched Money in the Bank? I technically did watch it, but I did skip through some stuff because it was after it was done, and I didn't get to start it till it wasn't available. It was available later than I thought it would be, so it kind of messed with my rhythm on it. So, but I did watch it nonetheless.
One. Two.
Nope. Tag team power bomb right there.
Yeah. Ah.
That Cobra Clutch suplex just looks vicious.
Ooga!
I think I did, Rolando. Yeah, I think I don't remember like how I responded to it. I might have liked it. Yes, I remember your requests. I have them recorded. I'm just waiting for the proper time to get started on another round of sports game reviews. Right now, I'm in the middle of getting my Triple Play series review going, and I'm just started the WWE Shut Your Mouth season mode review.
One. Two.
Ooh, man.
What? What? Ooga! Yeah. Give up. Give up. Give up.
Man, these guys are durable. Oh wow, interesting.
What? What?
Ooh, kneeling
Yeah.
DDT.
Yeah.
I get you there, Eli. Another neck breaker there. Brain buster.
Yeah.
Wow, super suplex, but I feel like that tag team move in the corner they just did, I don't really like that one because it never seems to like work the way they kind of planned.
Right. What? Yeah. One, two, three.
Oh, Clint's gone down to 2.
20 minutes gone.
Yeah, I mean the SmackDown versus Raw games I wouldn't mind doing either, but that can be time consuming though. Because unlike regular sports games, unless I grew up with them, I typically review the season mode of wrestling games off screen first because each game varies so much in how it's run that I kind of need to get an idea of what to do for them.
8, 9,
I wasn't able to do that with No Mercy because of the way No Mercy was designed, and that kind of ended up biting me in the ass a little bit.
16,
Here comes the pain. You know what? I wanted to do... You know what? And it's funny, I made a discovery a little bit ago that in the Shut Your Mouth game, even though the Shut Your Mouth game doesn't allow for belt customization or history, you can put the belts on through attire editing. So if you just keep track of it on your computer or a piece of paper, you can do like an open thing of it and shut your mouth. However, here comes the pain. There's no belt designs in the edit feature at all. So no matter which way you try or swing it, Here Comes the Pain just does not allow for that kind of thing. And it sucks because I want to do shit like that in Here Comes the Pain. But without the use of any sort of visible like mark for like who's champion, who's not, it can make it a little tough to do something like that without it feeling, I don't know. I mean, you can do it if you want to do it like that. There's nobody saying no or what, but in terms of what I like to do with those kind of games, having some sort of like title visual aid kind of helps give the difference between everything. And when you don't have that, it can make it kind of... It's not the same. It really isn't, for sure. Can't believe Muta won after all that. Jeez. Just Bring It doesn't have that issue because the belts are available for that. Yeah, it's funny that after all that's said and done, one of the best, if not the best wrestling games of all time just gives you shit for belts. I mean, if you just focus exclusively on the season mode for your shenanigans, you can do some fun stuff with that. But in order to really do that with full creation, you have to create, like, you gotta max out the creative wrestlers, which I think it's 30 or 32, I can't remember the number. Put them in the season mode, but here's the thing, you can't take out the title holders in that mode. You have to run it a few seasons when they lose, and after when the season ends and they're not champions anymore, you take them out. But you have to do it a few times in order to like actually have a full like created guy. So it's time consuming for sure. I thought about doing it with Here Comes the Pain with like YWA stuff or something like that, but I just don't have the patience or the time to do that. I just don't. Although I will say I do plan on doing Here Comes the Pain stuff at some point in the future, but it's just one of those things where I just really haven't had the biggest chance in the world to do so. Now I gotta set some quick stuff up here. You know what? It's funny. I just started it last night with a guy. So, unfortunately, you're just a day late. Because I was waiting for a bit for someone to suggest something, but it didn't seem like the right people were seeing that. So I just kind of decided I just go through it on my own. But I am curious on what you would have me pick, though, nonetheless. Two 2003, interesting. I think I remember in 2003 too, actually. Time limit? Yeah, like when you say season mode request, I assume that meant like a specific wrestler to run season mode with, unless I was mistaken. Since these are title matches, I think 30-minute limit would be fine. Well, you know what? Just to save from shenanigans, I'll have it be unlimited because I don't want to try repetitive fuckery with that. Also, the special guest, I almost forgot. He's from YWA Overtime, the third show, the second show being Blast. He qualified for the title a bit back, and I was gonna have him wait till Overtime to challenge for it. But you know what? No time like the present, and that's I think Cobra here, and of course Gray Man. Being that guy right there. All right. No worries. I mean, it's funny. To be honest, that's kind of why I have, like, say stuff like Discord and community chat, because the YouTube comment section isn't the most consistent with notification, because there's times where I'll miss, like, comments completely for weeks, even a month, even, without knowing, unless I check the YouTube Studio thing, which sometimes I forget to check even that. Alright, first match here. But yeah, as a sneak peek though to the shut your mouth thing, at first I was going to go with Test, and you'll see that in a video. At first I was going to do Test, but then I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? Test is in like other games in WLF, but Raven really isn't. So I ended up selecting Raven for it. So that's what I'm running with, is Raven. Pile driver out of nowhere.
One.
I laughed we won it right there. Sorry. You know what? It's funny. I thought about Booker T. I did. But I think what it came down to more than anything, is that, because at first I was looking for guys with like diverse finishers because of the two finisher thing, in spot stuff. That's why I went with Test originally, because he had that, but I ended up going with Raven because I thought about it, I'm like, you know what, if I'm gonna pick a guy to run this mode with, it should be a wrestler that's not really in other WWE games that much, and Raven was one of them in that game. There was a couple others too, but I was feeling Raven. I mean, if someone suggested, if I saw Booker T, I would have went for it for sure. Like, I'm big on following up on suggestions like that. But oh well, I can certainly do Booker T in some other game at some point. Ooh, long day.
One, two.
Man's busted open.
Minutes gone.
One. Give up. Give up.
Big side suplex.
One, two. One, two, three. Give up. Give up. Give up.
Big delayed suplex.
Give up. Give up. Great. Yeah. One, two, three.
Oh, look at this! Cobra finally unseating Madden after all that. However, the night isn't over yet. Nice. Have fun. You too. Because freaking Gray Man.
Regulators. We regulate any stealing of this property. We're damn good too.
Doomsday device activated here.
Gotta be handy with the steel if you know what I mean. Earn your keep.
Give up. One.
Sharpshooter there.
Give up.
Oh, Chrono's coming down to help Cobra, his tag partner.
Yeah. Yeah. Give up.
Murdering is.
Give up. Yeah. One, two.
Murdering. I'm waiting for a wrestler to have that as his finisher because
One.
murder. I wonder if that's an original term for it, because I definitely gotta get that shit copyrighted. Suffocation there.
Yeah.
Oh, Razor's Edge.
One, two.
Oh, murder backdrop. Bulldog. Big string of moves there. Octopus hold.
Give up. Give up. Give up.
Heyman fights out of it.
One.
Cross body into a cover, but the foot's on the ropes. Oh, big suplex. Another bulldog. Sleeper into a big suplex, but the rope breaks. Back suplex counter. Octopus hold again. Grayman trying to fight out of it. Does. Right into an armbar.
Give up. Give up. Give up.
Grayman has to be careful here. Oh, another Razor's Edge.
One, two, three.
Oh, look at that!
Regulators. Regulate any stealing of his property. We're damn good too. But you can't be any G
Wow.
on the street.
Holy shit. Big classic here. Yep, Triple Crown champion. Meanwhile, at YouTube Championship Wrestling, Hogan and Nash did the finger poke of doom. So, I mean, we practically gave this match away. Oh my god. But yeah, huge win there. Of course, your stable will get some credits there, although with the new formats changing, that's going to be a little different there. I guess to talk further about the change in format for TW and YW, I think the overall thing that's going to be shot for is a more of a risk-reward thing. Like, the rewards are going to be bigger, but there's going to be more risks as well, because I want to create a sense of, like, decision-making. You know, because for a while it's been relatively safe, which is fine. And I'm perfectly fine if people just want a dream book. That's fine. But I want there to be, like, if you want the big shit, you kind of have to risk a bit. Because that's kind of the simulated part of everything. Because the whole TWM process is definitely a combination of, like, fantasy, like, what ifs and a little bit of realism. Not a ton, just enough to make things competitive and risky and fun. But yeah, so this was an interesting episode of Gamma here. Definitely gonna have to. I'll doing a post in a little bit on, like, on all the guys that we shown here for the most part. Cobra, I'm going to give another chance to show off at Overtime as a tag team, because he's technically a tag guy, but sometimes things change. And that depends on how things get picked over here. But yeah, Gray Man's the new Triple Crown champion. So we'll have to see how things go with that. Trying to think. But yeah, Blast and Overtime are on the same thing. The Day of Doom pay-per-view is going to be interesting because, in all honesty, a lot of the build-up is going to be through the YWA Roleplay chat on Discord. So it's definitely going to be something that's going to be promo-driven, to say the least. But yeah, the Doomsday device will be rewarded on that show as well. So we're going to see a new person with it pretty soon. But yeah, in terms of streaming schedule, I don't know if I'll be streaming tomorrow. I'm not quite sure. If I do end up streaming tomorrow, hopefully it's either FTOA, DPS's FTOA, or Eli's XAW. If not both. If both of them are ready. But that depends. I don't like speeding things along like that. If neither one of them are ready, I'll probably do Super Mega Baseball. I might do it anyway, but that is definitely a possibility if it's depending on the events of the day and when I get back and everything, there's a chance I may not stream. So it's definitely gonna be how the day goes kind of thing, because it is 4th of July. It's a big shit day, so it is something to keep in mind there. But yeah, but like I said, after the stream here, I'm gonna kind of put a post on the Discord and see, like, who says who for, like, all the guys who did their shit here in this episode. And we'll just have to see who's staying and who's going. I mean, there's a very good chance that everyone could be gone. There's a very good chance. And I'm okay with that. And I'm okay if there's people that are like, oh, this person we should keep, or this tag, or this stable. I'm okay with that too, but there are going to be people going to be cut. Because at the end of the day, we're going to see, after all we go through all this, who's left is going to determine how we approach things in the future. So we'll just have to see what happens with that. But outside of that, for this specific stream here, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. In case you guys wanted to chat with anyone at the Campy Company, and you didn't want to use the YouTube comment section, we do have a couple options. First one is we have a Discord channel. You can find a link to that in About page / About section of our channel. We also have a community tab in our channel as well. You can access that anywhere, anytime. We also have a Patreon page as well. Main goal of the page is to raise money for the channel, to give the channel a bigger budget, to do more ambitious things, and also start making merchandise for the channel as well. And the merchandise itself will be geared toward aspects of the channel that you guys enjoy. So any support we get for that is much appreciated. But yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe and like the videos, and have a good day.